A bird does not decide your yard is safe in one visit. It studies the exits, the shadows, the sounds, and you. If the yard changed suddenly, the trust can vanish just as quietly. The good news is that birds can learn safety again. Making birds trust your yard again is not about chasing closeness. It is about becoming predictable, useful, and harmless over time. Trust is built by repetition. The first thing birds judge is not food, but danger. A full feeder beside a hiding cat is not generous to them. A chickadee lands, freezes, checks the shrub base, then leaves without feeding because the cover feels wrong today nearby. Birds want cover, but not an ambush tunnel underneath it. They trust yards where danger is visible before it is close. Move feeders from tight shrubs to open ground with nearby escape branches. That small change tells every visitor the yard has become readable. A cardinal approaches the safer feeder, pauses once, then feeds while still facing the open yard and listening carefully. First, make danger visible. The second trust signal is steady consistency without crowding. Commenters described birds lining up at the same morning hour. A small group waits on the fence while the human refills the feeder at the usual quiet morning time. That routine becomes a calendar the birds can read. Fresh food and clean water matter more than dramatic gestures. Fresh water matters most when the dish is clean and predictable. When seed spoils or water sits too long, trust quietly breaks. A hummingbird hovers near an empty feeder, circles once, and leaves, showing how fast routine becomes expectation again outside. Reliable does not mean excessive. The third signal is habitat that works even when feeders vanish. A perfect lawn gives birds almost nothing to investigate. Native shrubs, seed heads, leaves, and logs create small invitations. A wren moves through leaf litter, pauses on a log, and disappears into cover without using the feeder today. Insects return first, and insect-eating birds notice quickly. Brush piles and layered plants let shy birds enter slowly. The camera follows a sparrow from brush pile to feeder edge, showing trust forming through shelter, not bravery alone. A yard becomes trustworthy when birds have more than one choice. Habitat is the quiet invitation. Some trust breaks because the danger is invisible to us. A clean window can look like open sky to a flying bird. A bird starts toward a reflective window, then the scene shifts to visible exterior markers that interrupt the illusion. Cats, pesticides, and dirty feeders send warnings in different ways. The yard may still look beautiful while feeling unsafe to birds. Visible window markers and indoor cats remove two quiet warnings. No single fix builds trust, but every removed threat lowers suspicion. Birds return gradually when the feeder area stops feeling risky. Remove the warnings you cannot hear. The fifth signal is your own behavior around them. Birds learn whether your movements are sudden or predictable. The human walks the same slow path, fills the feeder, steps back, and sits without reaching toward the birds. That stillness matters more than any attempt to seem friendly. Blue jays, cardinals, and chickadees may all test distance differently. A blue jay stays near while the feeder is refilled, then hops closer only after the human stops moving. The moment that feels like friendship is usually recognized safety. A chickadee lands on the feeder, glances toward the seated human, takes one seed, and leaves calmly again nearby. Be boring in the best way. Hand feeding is the part people ask about most. It can feel magical, but it is not the goal of trust. A chickadee approaches an open palm, takes one seed, and leaves immediately, without lingering on the hand at all. Responsible trust should not teach every bird that every human feeds. Avoid hand feeding during nesting stress or harsh food scarcity. Clean hands, tiny portions, and rare moments keep the boundary clear. The scene shows the food moving back from hand to table to feeder, keeping trust centered on the yard, not the person. The deepest success is when birds feel safe without touching you. Trust is not possession. Comment which bird in your yard seems to recognize your routine. Start by choosing one quiet feeding time and keeping it steady. Add clean water where birds can see escape routes clearly. Move feeders away from ambush cover, but keep shelter nearby. A person moves a feeder a few feet, creating open ground below and branches nearby for retreat and confidence. Plant native shrubs and leave some leaves where insects can live. Hands add a small brush pile while a sparrow waits at the edge, turning cleanup into shelter nearby today. Treat windows, clean feeders, and remove old seed before disease spreads. The camera shows a simple weekly reset. Rinse water, brush feeder parts, replace seed, and step away again calmly. Then, wait longer than you think you should today. Give them reasons to return. There are times when trust means removing the feeder. Bears, rodents, disease, and local rules can change the answer. Birds are resilient enough to use natural food while you reset. Feeders come down after a bear sign appears, and birds shift toward seed heads, shrubs, and leaf litter nearby. A safe pause is better than a dangerous routine. When trust returns, it rarely announces itself very loudly. It may be one jay staying while you refill water. It may be a cardinal waiting at the same branch every morning. A sequence shows the same yard over several mornings, with birds arriving a little sooner each day, again slowly. The relationship is quiet because the best trust asks for little. So, if birds stopped trusting your yard, do not rush them. Make the place safer, cleaner, steadier, and more alive. The camera pulls from feeder to water to shrubs to window markers, showing the whole yard as one trust map. Then let the birds decide when the yard feels like theirs again. Comment routine, water, cover, or patience if that changed your plan. Trust is a place they can read.